April 2025 was a massive month for metal, packed with emotion, brutality, and some seriously unforgettable records. Welcome to the best metal albums of April. I've got 15 albums lined up that truly stood above the rest. Let's get into it. So coming at number 15 is Xangsomnia, Crashing Stillness. This one hit me like a silent scream. Xangsomnia's Crashing Stillness feels like you're drowning in a fog, depressive black metal at its most fragile and bleak. I said this before, but the way they capture that slow motion sense of collapse is suffocating. It's not about riffs, it's not about riffs or brutality, it's about emotional decay. A lonely spectral album that seeps under your skin, beautiful in the most hopelessness way. At number 14 is Cancer, Inverted World. Let's get primitive. UK death legends Cancer returned with Inverted World, and it's exactly what you want. No gimmicks, no polish, just raw death metal filth. The riffs feel diseased, the production is stripped bare, and there's this sickly old school charm I absolutely love. It sounds like something you discover rotting in a tape box from the 1990s, and that's a compliment. They bring that old school death metal to new age death metal. At number 13 is Nightfall, Children of Eve. Nightfall's latest is like a theatrical, dark and soaked in emotion. Children of Eve blends gothic grandeur with black and fury. It's dramatic without being corny, emotional without losing its edge. There are moments here that sound like sermons from a collapsing world. This is a band that still knows how to haunt, and this album proves they're not done yet. At number 12 is Necro. Here's one for the chainsaw riff crowd. Lick's Necro is pure Swedish death metal, the buzzsaw HM2 tone ripping through you like a jagged blade. It's punchy, feral, and just disgusting in the best way. This album doesn't need to innovate, it dominates. I had this one on loop in the car, I nearly fucking crashed from headbanging too hard. And number 11 is Kartev Alunia, one of the most emotional albums this month. Kartev are building their own genre, this dreamy, deathy, shoegazy vortex that completely overwhelms you. Alunia is a journey through pain, beauty, and cosmic wonder. It's like stargazing through tears. This is post-death metal with elements of deathcore for those looking to feel something deeper, and I felt everything. And number 10 is none other than Fellgrave, Other Like Darknesses. We Enter the Tomb. Fellgrave's Other Like Darknesses is horrifying. It sounds like it was recorded in the crypts beneath a ruined monastery. Dissonant, echoing, and ritualistic. I love how bleak and unwelcoming this is. There's no warmth here, just a void. The kind of album you don't just listen to, you fucking survive it. At number 9 is Tribunal, Impenitence and Ruin. This one floored me. Gothic death doom executed with eerie elegance. Tribunal tap into that classic My Dying Bride style. Mournful, grand, and full of emotional gravity. Impenitence and Ruin feels like watching a candle flicker inside a collapsing chapel. It's sorrowful, spiritual, and absolutely devastating. I'll be revisiting this one for months. At number 8 is none other than Red Moon Architect, October Decay. You already know I'm a sucker for this band. October Decay is another ice cold slab of melodic death doom perfection, which a lot of you could argue this is straight funeral doom. These pianos, those growls, the frozen atmosphere, this band makes despair sound absolutely beautiful. You can almost hear the autumn leaves withering with every track. Another win from Finland's finest mourners. And number 7 is none other than Epica, a spiral. We're moving to symphonic territory now, but a spiral doesn't play it safe. This is Epica pushing beyond the familiar, delivering an album that's cinematic, emotional, and at times surprisingly dark. From the opening notes, there's a sense of grandeur, but it's not just bombastic for the sake of it. Everything here feels earned. Simone Simons is at her best. Her voice carries that aching beauty, like sorrow wrapped in light. There's power and grace in every line she delivers, while Mark Jansen's growls bring in that vital edge, snarling, grounded, and heavier than ever. The contrast is sharp and effective, especially on tracks like The Grand Stage of Existence, which unfolds like a multi-act drama with choirs, riffs, and blistering intensity. What really impressed me was how a spiral didn't feel like a sequel to Omega. It's something darker, more urgent. Darkness Dies in Light is one of the most theatrical tracks they've ever written, but it still hits emotionally. The orchestration is sweeping, but never overwhelming. There's no filler here, just focused, finely tuned symphonic metal with real heart. Coming at number 6 is none other than Ghost Skeleta. This one's going to divide people, and that's exactly why I love it. Skeleta might be Ghost's most unhinged, genre-defying, record yet. It's theatrical to the point of absurdity, swinging from infectious pop hooks to doom-laden riffs and satanic carnival theatrics without blinking, and somehow it all clicks. Tracks like Cenotaph and Peacefield peel back the mask a bit. There's introspective, almost melancholic, showing Tobias Forge at his most emotionally vulnerable. These songs have weight, but they're still wrapped in that unmistakable Ghost sheen. Then you get something like Saint Eyes, which is pure over-the-top fun, dark glam rock with devil horns and glitter. It shouldn't work, but it does. Because Ghosts own their identity. I've said this before, Ghosts aren't just a gimmick band. They're masters of storytelling through sound, blending irony, sincerity, and spectacle into something like completely unique. Skeleta is weird, ambitious, and packed with personality. It doesn't care if you love it or hate it, and that's what makes it so fucking brilliant. At number 5 is Ziku. Ziku Kirk. 1096, backwards is crucifix. 1096 is like a sonic plague, dissonant black metal with medieval horror smeared across it. Listening to this album feels like crawling through a battlefield while Ghost whispers in your ear. It's disturbing, unique, and completely immersive. This isn't for the casual listener, but if you want something that truly challenges your ears, Ziku Kirk delivers a most cursed sounding album of the month. And yes, I adored every tormenting second. This album generally caught me off guard, delivering a powerful and unapologetic dose of anti-Islamic black metal. It's fierce, melodic, atmospheric, and vicious in all the right ways. From the thunderous drumming to the hypnotic guitar melodies and the venomous vocals, 1096 is a stunning example of how modern black metal can just feel so fucking dangerous and alive. There's a heavy atmospheric presence across the record, especially during the interludes. The intro sets the tone grim, ghostly, suffocating. Iblis Within punches you straight in the soul, and Nish Shai Schlag is pure incantation, one of the best black metal tracks I've heard all year. By the time you reach Black Verse, you're locked into a nightmarish trance that blends folk horror with post-black surrealism. A spiritual disaster in the best way. And number 4 is none other than Hate Bellum Regis, a Polish war machine activated, and Bellum Regis is the sound of total domination. Hate have always been a force in the Black and Death scene, pretty underrated, but this is them at full power. It's surgical in its violence, militant in its pacing, and soaked in that frost-bitten atmosphere that perfected over the years. You feel like you're being led through scorched ruins by an infernal army. The riffs are tight and venomous, the blast beats are machine-like but not sterile, and the overall tone is cold enough to strip flesh from your fucking bone. What's impressive though is how controlled it is, how controlled it all feels. There's no chaos here, just precision and brutality. The reduction is massive without being overproduced. You can hear every grim layer from the demonic growls to the ritualistic guitar work, all forged into one war-torn wall of sound. Bellum Regis isn't just another chapter in the discography, it's a declaration, a ruthless, unforgiving march through darkness, and one of the strongest albums Hate have ever released. Coming at number 3 is Rafael Legarius' Crown of Mortis. Now this really caught me off guard in the best possible way. Rafael Legarius didn't just drop an album, they unleashed a gothic plague. Crown of Mortis is black and death metal fused with eerie black metal atmosphere and the crushing intensity of, dare I say, deathcore, all drenched in cursed cathedral vibes. It doesn't sound like a record, it sounds like a prophecy carved into bone. Every track feels like it was torn from a forbidden tomb, like soaked in blood and whispered in Latin. There's elegance in the violence, the way ritualistic chants echo beneath blast beats, the way orchestration swells behind monstrous breakdowns and monstrous vocals. It's theatrical without ever losing its bite. No track overstays its welcome, yet each feels like a dark ritual unfolding before you. The production hits like a fucking funeral bell. The vocals are layered like a demonic choir, and there's this constant sense of dread, not chaos but controlled destruction. This is a really haunting album, haunted cathedrals and blood-soaked sanctuaries. I couldn't look away. Crown of Mortis is underground gold, maybe even a modern classic. One of the most immersive, cinematic and unholy albums I've heard all year. At number 2, In the Woods Otra. This is what evolution sounds like. Otra is a vast, introspective and beautifully fractured, an album that drifts between worlds while never losing its core. In the Woods have always been shapeshifters, but here they fully embrace their ambient and post-metal instincts and elements of doom as well, while letting their blackened heart beat quietly beneath it all. There's a deep, aching solitude to this record, but there's also a flicker of hope. It's like walking through a fading forest at dusk where every step feels heavy, but every ray of light feels earned. The clean vocals are some of the most emotionally resonant I've heard from the band. Fragile, honest, almost sacred, and when the harsh vocals do hit, they matter. They don't overwhelm, they fucking puncture. The compositions breathe, nothing feels forced, the guitars shimmer and stretch like mist. The rhythms move with patience, not aggression. This isn't an album made to impress, it's made to connect. Otra doesn't scream for your attention, but if you give it time, it quietly devastates. One of the most mature, heartfelt records of the year, and one that lingers long after it ends. At number 1, Siloquin Famine is my favorite album of the month. Now this is the one that stayed with me. Famine by Siloquin isn't just my favorite album of the month, it's the second physical copy I'm holding up in this episode. And that's because Ghost was easy to buy, but this was hard to find. And that's because the album meant something. It didn't just sound good, it felt necessary. When You Get Here is slow, punishing, beautifully melodic death doom, but with so much more. There are clean vocals that ache, growls that crush, and even black metal shrieks that cut right through you. It's all drenched in grief, tension, and raw honesty. And the atmosphere. Unreal ghost-like guitar leads float over crushing riffs. The reduction is warm and heavy, letting the emotion bleed through every note. The opener, Famine, sets the tone with clean sorrow before collapsing into despair. 2 AM hits like a midnight breakdown with a solo that actually lifted me out of my seat. Healing Process, I think it's called Healing Process, yeah. The Healing Process is hauntingly soft, a male-female vocal duet that feels like two spirits singing through grief. Then Poison Well and Shalamorka bring the weight back, aggressive, towering, but never without heart. And that closer, Porcelain, just soft, solemn, and final. It's a farewell, a breath after the storm. This album is full of contrasts, heavy but tender, brutal but intimate. It doesn't chase trends, it just exists in its own space, where sadness, beauty, and catharsis collide. Stefan Nordstrom's vocals are the centerpiece, powerful, personal, and painfully human. It's a kind of album you reach for when the world is quiet and the weight gets too fucking loud. And that's why it's the first one I brought this month. Some records deserve to be held, and Famine is definitely one of them. So that Siloquin Famine is my favorite metal album of April 2025. So yeah, that's it for the best metal albums of April. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So let me know your favorite albums down in the comments below. It's been fun, and I'll see you in the next one.